Welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Sonia.
And I'm Simon. We'll be covering several key stories for you.
Let's start with Air India's new CEO appointment. Air India has appointed Tewolde Gebremariam, the former CEO of Ethiopian Airlines, as its new managing director and CEO. He replaces Campbell Wilson.
That's a significant change. What do we know about Tewolde Gebremariam's background?
Gebremariam brings nearly 4 decades of aviation experience. He was instrumental in Ethiopian Airlines' global growth during his tenure.
So he's coming into Air India during a critical expansion phase. How does his experience potentially impact Air India's current challenges?
The reporting suggests that Gebremariam will focus on stabilizing international operations and addressing financial challenges. Air India recently reported a record annual loss.
I see. And what's the context behind this appointment? Was Campbell Wilson's departure unexpected?
The articles don't indicate that Wilson's departure was unexpected. It seems more like a planned transition as Air India moves into its expansion phase.
That actually ties into our next story about trade tensions. China has announced countermeasures against the U.S., including restrictions on drone exports and sanctions on 6 American companies.
Right. This comes after the U.S. imposed fresh tariffs on China and other countries, citing forced labor and national security concerns. The Chinese Commerce Ministry spokesperson stated that the U.S. actions seriously harm China's legitimate rights and interests.
So it's a tit-for-tat situation. How significant are these countermeasures likely to be?
The restrictions on drone exports could impact the U.S. drone industry, but the overall effect remains to be seen. The sanctions on 6 U.S. companies are part of a broader pattern of retaliatory measures.
And what's the current state of U.S.-China trade relations? Are there any signs of easing tensions?
The situation is still tense. Chinese President Xi Jinping is planned to visit the U.S. in September, which might be an opportunity to address some of these issues. Let's switch gears to the tech sector. Infineon Technologies reported a record revenue in its third quarter, driven by demand from AI data centers and a recovery in automotive orders.
That's impressive. What were the key drivers behind this revenue growth?
Infineon's revenue rose 13% year-on-year to a record 4.172 billion euros. The company is seeing significant demand for its AI power solutions.
So Infineon is benefiting from the AI boom. How does this impact their outlook for the rest of the year?
Infineon expects continued revenue growth in Q4 and has updated its FY26 revenue view based on strong AI demand.
And what's interesting is that despite the positive earnings report, Infineon's stock is down. Any insights into that?
The articles don't provide a clear reason for the stock drop, but it's not uncommon for stocks to react negatively to positive news if the market had expected even better results. Moving on to business news, Actavo Group, owned by Dennis O'Brien, reported that its pre-tax profits almost doubled to $23.12 million.
That's a significant improvement. What were the main factors contributing to this increase?
The directors attributed the growth to their efforts to streamline the business, including exiting certain businesses and selling off assets.
And what's the outlook for Actavo Group now? Are there plans for further restructuring?
The reporting indicates that the group is continuing its strategy to streamline operations, but there are no specific plans mentioned for further restructuring.
Let's discuss a public health story. There's been a salmonella outbreak linked to jalapenos at Chipotle and Qdoba restaurants.
Yes, both chains have removed jalapenos from their restaurants. Qdoba has over 800 locations affected, and they're cooperating with U.S. authorities investigating the outbreak.
How widespread is the outbreak? Are there reported cases across multiple states?
The outbreak has sickened hundreds of people across the country, with specific numbers not provided in the articles.
And what's being done to prevent future outbreaks?
Both Chipotle and Qdoba have taken immediate action by removing the contaminated product. Further measures might be announced as the investigation continues. As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that global events, business strategies, and public health issues are all interconnected.
Indeed, understanding these connections helps us better grasp the complexities of our world.
That's all for today. Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.